Hi, Emma. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello, Natalie.
Perfect. We are talking about, as my BMF ambassador program, about people that I've placed and the careers that you've had within the industry. So I think it's about 3 years ago, am I right in saying that I placed you with artificialgrass.com?
Yeah, we're coming up for 3 years in February.
Oh, that's amazing. So talk to me, what was your career before joining artificialgrass.com?
So before I joined artificialgrass.com, my biggest career was at a big health hydro in Leicester. I joined as a beauty therapist. So I was doing massage, pedicures, all the beauty treatments. And I was there for probably about 13 years and gradually got promoted, became supervisor. I went out on the road promoting careers in beauty to colleges. I was also the treatments administration manager. So I was managing all the admin jobs for the beauty department. And also before I left, I was duty manager. So I was overseeing the safe running of the hall on a day-to-day basis. So that was my career for the most part. But after about 13 years there, I worked really hard, long hours. I lived quite a way away. I decided that I was ready to retire, but I couldn't quite manage that. So I took the leap of faith and I left. And I got into sales administration and just took a few jobs along the way, doing order processing, answering the telephone, just nice, straightforward jobs, nothing too stressful. And then after a couple of years, I was working for a big gardening company. And again, it was sales administration, key accounts administration, and then team leader as well. So really lucky that I got promoted in my jobs. And then I moved away to get married. So I moved over to Melton Mowbray. And that's when I needed to find another job because my job with the gardening company was just too far away. And I think right before I met you, I had, again, just an administration job working for a small family company, helping with the planning of automatic door installations. But really wanted something a bit more corporate with a bigger company so that I could be busy. I like to be busy. And you found me the sales administration job with artificialgrass.com.
I remember it because you was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And I believed in you, Emma. I believed in you, darling.
Yeah, I think, I remember I applied for, I think it was an administration job. And then you said they're looking for someone who can do a little bit more, maybe more account management. And also, I can't remember if it was marketing at the time, but doing like social media as well. And I didn't really want to get into management again. I was quite happy being in a service role and really sort of, I know I had more skills, but I didn't want to be known for those. I just wanted to be able to do a job that I could do easily and excel at as well, because I knew that I was capable of doing more. So yeah, I remember I had to prepare for the interview. I had to do a presentation of how I'd grow social media in artificialgrass.com, and I was so nervous because I'd not done a presentation for so long. And yeah, it just went really well. Andy,
you smashed it. You smashed it, darling. So you've obviously been there 3 years.
Yes.
And I see you popping up all the time on social media now because I like it all. So what's been your career journey with artificialgrass.com?
Oh gosh, so when I first arrived, it was really just get your head down, learn all about the product, because I'd never worked with artificial grass before, or in this, I'd worked with a gardening company, but that was really just order processing. So it was learn all about the process of how to install the grass, the different types of grass, learning the way that this business operated and how the systems work. So I really just came in, tried to do the best I could, kept my head down, didn't ask too many questions, didn't try and rock any boats or change the world. So I carried on like that probably for a good year and a half, I think, just solidly just working at it. And then when COVID started to take hold, I think that's when I was really able to hit my own stride, because I got separated from my desk buddy Joe. We had to work in 2 different bubbles, so I was working in a different office. So I was well and truly on my own then, really having to, not on my own, but I couldn't just quickly ask a question here or double check a question here. I really had to, and that was really empowering for me. I really enjoyed just having to use my knowledge, and also it was great because by that time I knew a lot of my customers, so I could do things much more quickly, and they all knew me as well. So we were having good, fun conversations on the phone. It was actually really enjoyable. I really enjoyed being in charge of my own area, albeit just to an administration level, but I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed looking after the customers and just the empowerment that being on my own that COVID gave me.
And then recently you've been promoted to an internal person.
So sadly, the area sales manager moved on. She got offered another opportunity with a different company. So really very sad to see her go. But it meant then that Joe, my desk buddy, was able to step into her role, which was perfect. And then Andy needed somebody to step into Joe's role. So the senior sales lead on the ag.com desks. And whilst, again, I'm just quite happy doing sales administration and doing it really well, I'm also, responsible. So I knew that they needed somebody to step up. And whilst part of me didn't want to do that because I didn't really want any extra responsibility, I knew that I could do it. And because I felt that loyalty to the company, it made sense. I could do it, so you should do it. And so I was really pleased that actually they put their trust in me to do that as well. That feels good as well, that they were like, well, we need someone to step up, Emma, and we want it to be you. Will you do it? And it's kind of like, that's really great that they recognise that I can do it.
Oh, perfect. And what's the one piece of advice that you'd give to somebody that's looking at joining the construction sector or the building materials industry, whether it's for a merchant or for a manufacturer or a supplier? What's the one bit of advice that you would give them?
I think the one bit of advice that I would give people is follow everything up. You can't sit back on your laurels and just think, well, I've given them the quote, I've given them the information. If they want it, they'll come back to me. And in some cases that will work, customers will come back to you, but competition, especially for artificial grass, is fierce. There are a lot of online companies selling artificial grass. So you have got to make sure that you follow up every inquiry. What did you think of the quote? Do you need any more technical support? Try and find out more about the project so that you can find out if there's any more ways that we can help. So they might not just be installing it into a domestic garden. They might be doing a special event, or they might be installing it onto concrete. And that's where you will be able to help, because you've got that specialist knowledge, or a team of people behind you that have got some more knowledge that will be able to help that customer that another company might not go to the lengths to offer. So I think that would be my advice, is follow up every quote that you give to make sure that you have really made the most of every opportunity, because it's so easy for customers to just, I've done it myself, where I've gone and got a few quotes, and then it's the ones that have persisted, because maybe I've thought, well, I don't really need to sort that out right now. But it's the ones that have kept in touch and persisted and shown that they want my business that I will probably go with in the long run. So
ultimately that shows, and the whole reason for this, that they're all transferable skills. Negotiation, following up a pipeline, quoting, chasing, talking to people, building relationships. It doesn't matter if that is in the construction building materials industry or whether that's in selling, pens and paper. It's all transferable. And obviously, artificialgrass.com have given you really good training to understand the products. So you're now confident in your products, but ultimately you've transferred your skill set from everything else you've done into this industry.
Yes, and I think working with artificialgrass.com, I had sound customer service skills and good administration skills already, But what I lacked confidence with was the sales. I don't like the word sales, but it's all part of customer service, and following up. Did I give you enough information? Have you got all the information you need? What did you think of the price? Have you been looking around? Did you find anything else that's comparable? Did you find anything else that was more competitive? Let me know, because I really want to help. I want to be part of that project, because there's nothing more rewarding than seeing a picture on social media of somebody's finished project. I remember we worked hard to help a customer to get some of our Fidelity, one of our newer grasses, and he must have rung up a few times asking questions, and in the end he ordered it, and by the time he got to the point of ordering, he needed it in a bit of a rush, as most people do. In the end, they spend so long thinking about it and doing their research, then all of a sudden the time's come to do the project and they want it tomorrow. So I think we got the order out that week for him, and then he sent us a picture of it, and it looks fantastic in his garden, and it just brings to life that order on a piece of paper and all that work you put into helping him make the decision. He's got a lovely garden that he's going to be able to enjoy for summers to come and show off to his friends and family. Just a great outdoor space. And that's the difference it makes when you follow things up, is that you go on sounds like I'm on Strictly Come Dancing or something, you go on that journey with the customer.
Oh, bless you. Well, thank you so much, because I know that you was nervous about doing this, but I know that it is really important that people see people from all different walks of life, different backgrounds, entering the industry, having a career, and really enjoying what they do. And I know that you do that. So thank you so much, darling.
Thank you. Thank you for placing me. It's I think, having come from, I was in a well-established career for 13 years, and I think you can take that for granted sometimes. And it's not until that you need a job that you really appreciate people like you that help you find a job. And I never want to forget that grateful feeling of being offered a job, because it's a horrible feeling to need a job or be out of work. But when you've got people like you helping you and championing you and finding you work, and then actually getting a job and being able to make something out of it, you must never forget that feeling.
Oh, thank you, darling.